Hello everyone, welcome. Crash here. This is RTA Motorsports, and just like I promised you, we're going to go over the Thrustmaster T-Flight HOTAS X. Just kidding. We're going to go over the Razer OSVR. You knew it, didn't you? Didn't you?
Didn't you?
Welcome to RTA Motorsports.
Alright everyone, and welcome. Crash here. So we're gonna do some Pikes Peak racing, and what I did was I turned off the lens distortion so that way I could see the full menu. Kind of a workaround I'm doing right now, because normally it would be like this. Let's see here. And so that way I can't see what track I'm going into. So if I just turn that off, we could do full course and I could actually see it, which is pretty darn sweet. And so let's do afternoon sunny. Why not? Afternoon sunny. And I figured this would be the perfect course to do it because it's very scenic. It's very beautiful. And let's turn that back on. Let's make sure that we are still recording. We are. You're going to see all those warning labels and blah, blah, blah go away. Now, the one thing I will say is, you know, when you install this and you have the filters going, that sharpness filter definitely reduces the effect of the pixels big time. Big time. So that way you can actually just focus on the race and not so much on, you know, staring at each individual pixel and how it bothers you so much, you know. It really does make a huge difference. You can see we can look down, and so I'm using my Track IR5 for my head tracking, and the unfortunate thing is you could probably see the IR lights in this right now. Kind of interferes with it a little bit. So I can look around, and it has the normal Track IR5 limitations. You can't go completely all the way around. I can see that guy over there to the right. I can see my gauges. Ah, we missed practice. Okay. No big deal. No big deal. Haven't done too much practice with this actually at all. Mostly spent a lot of my time just working on the drivers and everything like that, and working on the lens distortion. But you know, I can see everything in this car, which is crazy, and it kind of reminds me of that 3D projected setup I did, where you just feel like you're really immersed. There is a slight delay with Track IR5 that I don't get in the demos. Do the demos that are enabled for this headset, and it uses the motion in the headset, you get zero delays whatsoever. So you know, that's something I think just with Track IR5 kind of, you know, communicating with the headset, you get a slight input lag, but I don't get any input lag from my steering wheel, my gear shifting, or anything like that. It's only the Track IR5, so that's going to change once we get some actual support for this headset. Now, it's weird because you get this really crazy sense of immersion. You can see off in the distance pretty well. You can see the track. I mean, you still see the pixels. They're there. There's nothing you can do about that. But they're nowhere near as bad and as, you know, just blatant in your face as they are with the DK2, or definitely not like the PlayStation Morpheus. Although this has the same resolution screen as those two. It's a 1080 screen. This does a very good job hiding it apparently I just ran someone over. Like I was saying, it does a very good job hiding it, especially with that filter. That filter makes a huge difference. I haven't tried that filter on the DK2, but you know, this filter, the Sweet FX filter, is really popular with the Oculus guys and gals for a reason. So this definitely takes a lot of getting used to, because you know, when you move your head, it's like disorienting almost at first, because your brain is kind of convinced that you're there and you're not. So, you know, the brain's telling your body you should be feeling these G-forces that you're not, and then it gets amplified more if you have simvibe going, because simvibe will you know, still even trick you as well. So it's like as you're going around these turns, you kind of feel like for a second you might be feeling those G-forces even though you're not in a motion rig. Your heart pounds. I do notice I do drive a lot more cautiously with the headset on than I do in my triple screen setup. And I think a lot of it is still just getting used to the darn thing. As you can see there. But also there is, it kind of amplifies that sense of, you know, danger and that there is consequence. So the one question I get asked very often from my friends is how do I feel about this setup versus the projected setup? And you know, they both have their positives. Whoa! They both have their positives and negatives. One being, I can't see my rig right now. Even if it had a camera in the front, I'm not sure how that would work, ghosting, you know, your rig into view. That would probably be disorienting as heck. Every time you turn your head, your rig is turning as well. And but also, you know, like right now I have a soda. I can't see it. I know where it is. I know where about it is, but I don't want to get it out of fear of dropping it. So, you know, that's score one for the projector setup. They're gonna cost, I would say the projector setup's probably gonna cost more initially, because, you know, you have to get a decent 1080p projector, which is probably gonna cost about the price of an Oculus, around $600 at a minimum. And then, you know, you have to get a screen to use it with, and all the hardware to mount it. So the outlay is going to be more with a decent projector setup. You're not going to have an experience like I'm having, pretty much at the price, at a decent price point or a similar price point with the projector, unless you bought the projector used and you already have a screen lying around that you could bend into a U. You know, I always trip up on that turn. That turn never fails. And that one as well. Even with a triple screen setup. You really get a sense of scale for the environment. And unlike other headsets, I could actually see the environment in this one here. Just have to get used to the fact that, you know, you're moving your head and the screen is moving and you feel like you're there, but you're not. That whole feeling is a little weird. It's very cool, but, you know, sim racing is a skill. So, you know, you got to re-hone your skill for this new tool that you have. Right there, I can't really see too well. The glare in my windshield is just kind of killing me there. I saw my interior in the reflection of my windshield. I couldn't really see up the mountain. So how is the OSVR holding up? So far so good. I haven't really had any issues. Every so often when you're, you know, going in and out of demos or anything like that, the screen will kind of stay black on you, and you have to take the belt box and kind of unplug it. You know, just the head-mounted display itself, plug it back in, and it turns back on. Kind of a common thing, common issue. It's not really an issue though, because it's very easily remedied by just unplugging, plugging back in, and you're fine again. Whew, that glare. I like that. I sit back in my chair a little bit, and it completely feels like I just lowered my chair in the game itself. Do I regret my purchase at all? No. I see. I'm a big supporter of VR, even though VR is not supporting me at the moment. Let's recover the vehicle. I think VR is the future. I think if you want to experience VR, this is a cool way to do it, but you have to be patient. You have to be, you can't expect to just, I have no idea where I am right now. Let me look around. We have completely fallen off the wayside. I'm gonna recover again. Every time I get to a deep thought or anything like that, it's just, I'm gone, I'm off the track. Let me sit up a little bit so I can see the track. Feels like we have punctured a tire. Have we punctured a tire? No, it's not asking me to fix it. I don't hear it. But yeah, you have to be very patient. You have to be willing to investigate different ways of solving the lens distortion issue. Oh, we definitely got a flat. We definitely got a flat. I can't even go straight. I knew it. And it's still not offering to let us fix it. I don't think it will. Ah! Feels like we have no back tires at all. So, you know, if you're a tinkerer, this is for you. This is going to be a lot of fun for you if you have the time to tinker, or if, you know, you're okay with just tinkering for a few days before you get to play a title. The demos work. The Steam VR games work to a point. You still get that side-by-side distortion that I was showing you before with TriDef just by itself. So I get that on the Elite Dangerous game where it's smushed from side to side. And you also... Oh yeah, you see those sparks flying out that rear. Look at that, right rear tire gone. And we are way down on the list. I thought we would be dead last, especially with that flat, and I was just barely probably hitting 40 miles an hour. Kind of, let's see, we hit 6th place. All right, not too bad, not horrible. That's generally where I am, actually, with my triple screen setup. I'm generally 6th place. 5th, 6th place. So I'm not too far off, as horrible as that sounds. I don't really practice this title too much. I'm normally in iRacing and Assetto Corsa. So yeah, pretty much, if you're looking for a good budget way of experiencing VR, and you know, as far as budget, I mean, half the cost of, you know, the offerings that are out right now. You can't expect it to be as good as what is coming out. It's not going to be as good as the Oculus. I can understand why that price is the way it is. You got to think about the resolution of the screen. You got to think about the fact that it's pretty much plug and play. I'm a little bit worried about the games being specifically designed for each title. I mean, each console now that there's going to be like essentially a console war between the Vive and the Oculus. This is completely open source, so it's working with Steam VR. You know, that's a positive. Works with some Oculus games, some. The tracking doesn't work yet, but that's actually in the works. Like I said before, there's companies making software for it, so that way it could be a much more out-of-the-box experience, like VorpX, and it's completely upgradable. So if you build the PC, chances are you should be okay with, you know, taking this part here and taking your time with it and upgrading the parts. You know, they're going to come out with a new screen. They're coming out with new lenses. You can probably see the marks on my nose of where the lenses were touching me on either side. Over time, you kind of get used to it and it doesn't hurt as much. But I'm going to install a little bit of foam in there so that way it doesn't leave such harsh marks. But yeah, all in all, that was how to set up and some gameplay footage with Dirt Rally. And my initial impressions are very, very positive. I think this is going to... I don't think it's going to replace my triple monitor setup yet, once they come out with the new monitor. And once they have incorporated the tracking. Because this tracker is actually really cool, and it's a 360-degree tracker. And once they actually incorporate that and it's up and running, I think this is going to be a force to be reckoned with. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope I answered a lot of questions. This is only the first episode. We're going to be doing further episodes with other titles. Definitely post in the comments what you want the next episode to be. If I get iRacing working, it's probably going to be iRacing, but more than likely it's going to be either Assetto Corsa or Race Room at this point. I also want to do a bit with American Truck. or American Trucker or Trucking or whatever that title is. It just came out. It's Euro Truck Simulator's cousin, essentially. But so yeah, let me know what you guys want to see next. I really hope I answered any questions. If you're looking into buying this, I wanted to show you what you have to do to basically get it running with the way I have it running, what's involved. Maybe it's too much, or maybe it's, you know, seems acceptable for the price and how much tweaking you want to do. So as usual, I'm Crash. This is RTA Motorsports. Have a great day and see you all out on the track.